Kent State Florence, grant money, and sports. We have the details on today's board meeting of trustees.
4 a.m. tonight. There's a very special event happening in the Kiva Auditorium tonight. Stay tuned to find out more.
Spring might have finally sprung here in Northeast Ohio, but we may see snow one last time. I'll let you know what weather is coming up in my forecast.
In an argument that brought a 19-year-old daughter to seek revenge by the death of her own mother.
TV2 News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good evening, Kent State and all of Portage County. I'm Gianna DaPra.
And I'm Chris Abreu. We start tonight in Akron, where a 19-year-old woman is being charged for the murder of her mother.
That's right, 19-year-old Sydney Powell killed her mother after an argument. Akron police received a call from the University of Mount Union and said Sydney Powell disappeared from campus. They responded to the home where she lives and found Brenda Powell with life-threatening wounds and Sydney on the scene. They transported the mother immediately to the Cleveland Clinic in Akron, where she died later. Sydney Powell had minor wounds, and officers took the daughter to the Summa Akron City Hospital for treatment. She's being charged with murder. And 30-year-old Emmett Stevens of Kent appeared in court today for trial. According to Portage County Assistant Prosecutor, Stevens held a Kent woman against her will and forcibly raped her multiple times. After entering her bedroom, Stevens has been indicted on multiple charges, including 6 counts of rape and 3 counts of kidnapping. The trial is expected to continue this week.
A wanted duo were captured in Lake County. Sean Patrick Phipps and Ashley Michelle Mayfield were identified as suspects for the robbery of a Speedway gas station in Stowe and Burger King in Jackson Township. Mayfield has been turned over to Stowe police. Meanwhile, Phipps will be turned over after Lake County jail release. And today, the Kent State University Board of Trustees met for their spring meeting. President Dyken announced the university's removal of students from the Florence campus due to the coronavirus.
He also congratulated students' organizations, including the Kent State football team, on their recent title as winners of the Fresco Bowl, and the Department of Theater and Dance on their success of their spring musical parade. Other highlights from the meeting included the announcement of $2 million grant for Kent State Alzheimer's research, as well as $7 million budget to complete renovations to Verter Hall. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel like this weather's been so crazy. It's been freezing this weekend, and I feel like I didn't even have to wear a coat today, just like a big sweatshirt, you know?
Definitely. My iPhone has given me a little bit of good news maybe for tomorrow. Let's see what our weather anchor, Rachel Gross, has for us. Rachel?
Well, we've been definitely seeing some warmer temperatures here over the last couple of days, and here we see the rain that we saw earlier today moving out. It's moving over into Pennsylvania and kind of the West Virginia border of Ohio. Still seeing a little bit of rain there, and all this cold front is pushing out, leaving us with a little bit warmer temperatures, but unfortunately, as we get into the weekend, the temperatures might drop a little bit more. But currently, we're seeing around 42 degrees, but with the wind chill, it feels like 34. And then going into tonight, the temperature is going to drop to about 33 degrees at midnight, but the rain is gone for now. We're just going to be seeing some clouds throughout the night. And then taking a look at the temperatures all across Northeast Ohio, that, like I said, that cold front moved out, leaving us with temperatures all around the 40 and 50 range. 59 down in Cincinnati, the warmest in the state. Up here, we're in the low 40s. But these warm temperatures might not stick around for tomorrow, but I hope you stick around, because I'll let you know when you'll need to pull back out your gloves and hat. Back to you, Chris.
Thank you, Rachel. School officials in Ravenna announced on Monday a new plan that caters to elementary school gifted students. The plan, being titled Reconfiguration, includes more STEM opportunities for all students as well. In addition, they are also closing Carlin Elementary and moving the students to other elementary schools, while putting the 5th graders in Brown Middle School. The plan goes into effect in the 2021 school year. And the Park District in Portage County obtained 89 acres of additional land. The acquisition came from Kreerhoff Farms and a part of Ferguson Road. They paid the owner of the farmland nearly $600,000 for it. Public Engagement Coordinator Andrea Metzler says the land makes a great buffer for the Trail Park Lake, providing protection to keep it preserved.
But with regard to the Arnold Classic, continuing it as planned simply was an unacceptable risk. The circumstances at the Arnold are ideal for the spread of disease. The fact that the Arnold mainly takes place in a confined indoor space creates an environment that is much more conducive to the spread of the virus.
The Arnold Sports Festival in Columbus is this weekend, but there will not be any fans. Governor Mark DeWine says that because of the coronavirus, they do not want people coming into the greater Columbus area, although fans are still allowed to come to the final on Saturday. Columbus Public Health Commissioner Dr. Maishka Roberts says about 20 athletes from China, Iran, South Korea, Japan, and Italy are not allowed to participate. This is a developing story. And we're now joined with our reporter Camryn Calderwood, who is currently live at the Black Moms Matter event on campus. Hi, Camryn.
Hi guys, I'm here in the Kiva Auditorium where the Black Moms Matter panel is being held. Now this event was put on by students and the Healthy Communities Research Initiative. What's so special about the event is House Representative Stephanie House is here as the keynote speaker. Now she's speaking right now. Later there will be a panel with many other advocates for this event. Now I have the event poster right here, and the description is Taking Action for Reproductive Justice in an Unjust System. Black Moms Matter. Now it's a great turnout, but there are lots of spots available, seats available. So the event goes until 7:15 p.m. So come on over to the Kiva Auditorium and watch the event. Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Camryn Calderwood.
And the primary election falls on a big day here in Ohio, and it might be causing some troubles for the polls.
Your weekend forecast may be looking quite chilly and even snowy. When you'll see the snow after the break.
This is Portage County's TV2, broadcasting from the campus of Kent State University. Streaming online at kentwired.com.
Train your brain for free at a Division of Information Technology workshop. Free workshops on Adobe products, Microsoft products, and more. Check them out online at training.kent.edu.
Every one of us has a voice, and every voice has the power to shape the world. Ours is no different. Our voice is 85 years in the making, a voice that's more than 700 students strong, one of the largest in the nation. It's 10 different award-winning media partners sharing 34 outlets, all working united toward a common goal. Our voice reaches 30,000 households on TV, over 22,000 magazine readers per year, 500,000 newspapers, feature films in stores nationwide. Our voice is pride in what we do. It empowers students, emerging professionals, to ask tough questions and demand answers. We believe in our voice. We believe in its ability to change the world. And our voice makes us who we are.
Welcome back. A bill banning the use of telemedicine for medicated abortions was cleared for the first time. Now senators in Ohio are getting ready to vote on that bill. It has been cleared by the Senate Health, Human Services, and Medicaid Committee. That pushes the bill to the Senate, and it could be approved as soon as this week. They believe doctors should be physically present in the process of the abortion medication.
And Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost announced a new robocall enforcement unit for the state earlier today. The new unit is working on developing a tool that allows consumers to report robocalls to Yost's office. The main goal is to root out companies who use this tactic so they can identify where the nearly 2.2 billion robocalls Ohioans were hit by came from in 2019.
And a group that brings light to the advancement of women and women's equality has not been in action for 18 years. but it's looking like it could be back. The group, the Ohio Women's Policy and Research Commission, was made in 1990 but ended in 2002 after not having state budget funding. The House Minority Leader Amelia Skies is sponsoring a bill that will bring the group back. She thinks it could lead to more women in Ohio having leadership positions.
Mike Bloomberg officially ended his campaign earlier today and announced his support for Joe Biden after spending the most money on a campaign out of any candidate. The former New York mayor's exit from the race comes shortly after Super Tuesday, where he had only one victory among the elections.
Welcome back to your Wednesday night weather report. So tomorrow evening we're going to be seeing another cold front shift into Ohio, bringing with it some colder temperatures and maybe even snow. But during the day tomorrow we're not going to be worrying about cold temperatures just yet. 51 degrees and sunny, a little bit breezy with gusts of wind up to 13 miles per hour. But heading into the evening, that's when we're going to be seeing colder temperatures and maybe even a little bit of rain or snow come in. And then Friday, cloudy and colder with a high of 38 degrees. We're going to be seeing some snow showers, but not too much accumulation, only about up to an inch of snow on the ground. But we're also going to be seeing a lot of wind with gusts of up to 22 miles per hour. And then taking a look at the week ahead, temperature is going to drop significantly on Friday into the 30s and the 20s for the low. But then come the weekend, they're going to warm back up again, almost 60 degrees on Sunday. And we might even be seeing that sun peak out a little bit heading into the beginning of next week. Those rain and clouds are going to come back, but the temperature is going to warm up again. Once again, 57 degrees on Monday, but then dropping back down to the 40s for Tuesday and Wednesday. But the good news is we're not seeing a lot more of that 30-degree temperatures. We're not seeing snow every single day, so it feels like spring might be here to stay. So make sure to enjoy the warm weather this week while we have it, because we all know that Ohio is just a roller coaster of weather all the time. Stay safe in warm Portage County and have a great night.
St. Patrick's Day primary election is right around the corner, but it is causing some problems. Two polls in downtown Cleveland could be in the midst of some thick traffic from the St. Patrick's Day parade. Cuyahoga County Board of Elections Director Tony Perlotti says that he has already had to move 11 polling locations, which includes 26,000 voters. They have reached out to everyone, letting them know of the change and where it is located. And he's urging people to vote over mail or come in person early. And former Vice President Joe Biden had himself a Super Tuesday last night, and Senator Bernie Sanders didn't do too bad himself. Both presidential hopefuls picked up numerous pledged delegates. John Lornick has more on the story.
Joe Biden scores big on Super Tuesday.
So I'm here to report we are very much alive.
The former vice president is projected to win the most Super Tuesday states, including Texas, and says he'll strive to bring bipartisanship back to Washington.
We can't have a never-ending war between the parties. We need a president who can fight, but make no mistake about it, I can fight. But look, we need as badly, someone who can heal.
Senator Bernie Sanders also collected a healthy amount of delegates Tuesday and says he's not backing down to Biden.
I tell you with absolute confidence, we are going to win the Democratic nomination.
Or anyone else.
And we are going to defeat the most dangerous president in the history of this country.
Senator Elizabeth Warren's campaign is struggling. She even lost her home state of Massachusetts to Biden.
Cast a vote from your heart and vote for the person you think will make the best president of the United States of America.
Former New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg doesn't leave Super Tuesday empty-handed. He won American Samoa.
In just 3 months, we've gone from 1% of the polls to being a contender for the Democratic nomination for president.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
After Super Tuesday, Ohio's chance to be a key decider in the showdown between Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders grows, while Senator Elizabeth Warren debates on how to move forward with her campaign after coming in third in her home state. Here in Ohio, Sanders proved to be successful in college towns such as Athens, Bowling Green, and even Kent during his 2016 campaign, while Biden believes support will come in from those who supported Hillary Clinton in 2016, since she did win the state. And federal appeal judges in Ohio made the decision yesterday to deny those in jail during an election the same late voting rights as those who are hospitalized. The decision means that those who are unexpectedly put into jail right before an election will not be able to vote after they are released, like residents who are hospitalized during an election.
And Vice President Mike Pence is making his way to Akron. Pence will be hosting the local party's 2020 Lincoln Day dinner on Tuesday, March 24th. The event is at Todero Party Center in Akron and will be held at 5:30 p.m. It comes a week after Ohio votes on who they want as their presidential nominee in 2020. This will bring big-name Democratic surrogate party to the state. Coronavirus is making its way around the world, but might now be here in Ohio. The details when we return.
It's finally March, so let the madness begin. The MAC tournament starts next week, and we will take a look at the standings in the conference with one game left to play.
Strawberries? Okay.
I was living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
Train your brain for free at a Division of Information Technology workshop. Free workshops on Adobe products, Microsoft products, and more. Check them out online at training.kent.edu.
A Cleveland police officer was accused of stealing money from 2 people during different arrests. Lorenzo Brazel is charged with 2 counts of theft in office. Prosecutors say the first time policemen stopped the man's car by firing gunshots, then took over $2,000 in cash from the man's pockets. Next, he stopped a woman's car during another call for shots fired in the area and took $360 from the woman's car. A Cuyahoga County grand jury handed up the indictment, and arraignment date has not been set.
The Ohio Highway Patrol asked drivers to make sure their cars are safe before driving to prevent crashes. From 2017 to 2019, there were nearly 6,500 accidents due to issues with vehicles. This included 31 fatal crashes. Most often, the accidents include older vehicles from before 2008.
Ohio is a potential target of the coronavirus. A new virus case is being tested by the Ohio Department of Health. The patient under investigation is having symptoms of respiratory illness and either recently went to China or come encounter with someone who has. 7 people who were previously investigated for the virus have all been negative. Remember to wash your hands and avoid contact with sick people and to cover your mouth. And sticking with that, flying in the midst of the coronavirus outbreak might be nerve-wracking, but American Airlines, Delta Airlines, United Airlines, and others are working to help you. If you have a flight planned or want to plan a flight, those airlines are waiving the ticket and change cancellation fees. They call it the Peace of Mind waiver, giving you the availability to make decisions based on your health and safety.
A death from the coronavirus earlier today in California brings the U.S. death toll up to 11. This comes with news that congressional leaders came to an agreement on a bipartisan deal that puts around $8 billion of emergency funding towards fighting the coronavirus in the U.S. Many congressmen from both parties agree that this is part of their duty to protect the American people. And Tennessee is now in a state of emergency after a deadly tornado struck the state Monday night. There are 24 confirmed deaths with 38 people still unfound. This is the deadliest tornado the state of Tennessee has seen for 7 years. More than 35,000 people were still without power earlier today. County and state officials are continuing to search for missing people.
Some success on senior night as we approach the MAC tournament. After the break, we look at some potential matchups for the Flashes with just one game left.
This angle will make the star.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore. And frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy, and giving up impossible.
And then we're going to turn the lights and everybody look up.
I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought.
Find me one.
What's your reaction?
Yeah, exactly.
And unconventional methods
Okay, what else?
common.
This is their world.
There's nothing.
And then they die. Go ahead, go, go, go.
I'm a teacher. I make more.
Athletic events are always filled with people from around the world. That is why the NCAA is keeping an eye on the coronavirus and has concerns about upcoming events. NCAA men's and women's tournaments begin in 2 weeks at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. They said they have put together an advisory panel to review the virus and its outbreak. As of now, the events are still on as planned, but they will be watching daily to see if the situation will change.
And Mike Tyson is returning for Undisputed Truth 2 after his 2013 show that was on HBO and was adapted for Broadway. The first show was Tyson's autobiography and included his love of Cleveland and all the memorable years he spent training in the city. Undisputed Truth 2 is a one-man show premiering on Sunday at 8 p.m. on the MGM Northfield Park Center stage.
And right now we are going to take it over to our sports anchor, Mitchell.
Hi everyone, it's finally my favorite month of the year because it's spring and more importantly, it's March Madness. The MAC tournament is next week and yesterday the men's basketball team took on the #1 seed in the conference, Bowling Green. So let's take it over to the MAC and see how the action went. It was senior night, so there's Mitch Peterson and Philip Winnington, CJ Williamson. He was out due to his suspension, and then Troy Simons and Antonio Williams. And first up, we're going to have Antonio Williams, and he's going to hand it off to Danny Pippen, who drills down an easy three, flashes up easy. Antonio Williams with a show early in the first half, razzle-dazzle to the basket. He takes it to the rack easily. Pippen with a nice bounce pass to Evan Bainbridge, the nice freshman from Stowe. Flashes up. Second half now, Troy Simons knocking down the three, and then Simon dunked nearly from the free throw line. An amazing game. Kent State, they'll win easily. And now let's go to some sounds from after the game.
I mean, it felt good doing it with my brothers. I mean, even though C wasn't there, I still had a thought in my head that we was gonna go out there and do it for him because he's been with us this whole year and last year. So he's been with us. So I just felt like we had to do it for him.
Once we start MAC tournament play, it's surviving in advance. So that's the mindset.
That's the most important game for us coming up. Obviously, Friday's Friday, but Monday's the MAC tournament, and we're going to need. We had a great crowd tonight, and we're going to need those folks here Monday to help us get to Cleveland.
And as you heard from Coach Senderoff, Kent State is looking forward to their game on Monday for the first round of the MAC tournament. Now, they've already locked up a home game for Monday, and their opponent, though, is yet to be determined. It could be any of the teams from the 9 to 12 seed, and they still have Akron to face to close out the regular season. That game on Friday in Akron at 7. And now for the women, they're hoping to lock up a spot in Cleveland with a big game against OU tonight. Kent State is tied for third place with the Bobcats, and with a win, Kent State will clinch a bye to the second round of the MAC tournament and at least a share of the MAC crown. And Ohio is coming into this game on a 3-game losing streak, while Kent is riding a 3-game winning streak led by senior Megan Carter. And Ohio has won 6 out of the last 7 meetings at the MAC Center, but with bigger implications, this is set up to be the game of the season. Now, and right now, the Flashes are in action on the diamond at West Virginia University, and some midweek action, but it's a rough night for Kent State, getting shut out through 8 innings so far. The last I checked, it was 8-0, and it looks like Kent State will fall to 6-5 on the year, and they'll be back on Friday in Virginia against Liberty University. And that's all I have for tonight. Follow along at TV2 KSU Sports on Twitter for updates on women's basketball and baseball, and I'll be back next Wednesday to cover the MAC tournament. Until then, I'm Mitch Meyers. Back to you guys at the desk.
And tonight, Kent State is hosting an event entitled Black Moms Matter.
Yes, our reporter Camryn Calderwood has the story. Hi, Camryn.
Hi, guys. The event Black Moms Matter is a discussion panel on issues such as healthcare, infant mortality, and racial disparities. The panel is highlighted by a very special keynote speaker. Take a look. This evening, the Healthy Community Research Initiative and students in the Public Health Program are holding a discussion panel entitled Black Moms Matter. The event will take place from 5:30 to 7:15 p.m. in the Kiva Auditorium. The panel is aimed at taking action for reproductive justice in an unjust system. And this student-organized event has roots in the Kent State curriculum.
For public health majors, most of us have to take an advocacy and activism course. One of the requirements for the course is that you come up with a direct action project. So taking action and actually advocating in your community for an issue that you're passionate about. And the group of girls that I was with was also really passionate about maternal mortality and racial disparities in maternal mortality.
One of the highlights of the event will be the panel's keynote speaker and House Representative, Stephanie House.
She is a very strong woman, and she's definitely very vocal about issues regarding race. And we really wanted her on our panel because of her experience in the House of Representatives, but also because she is just such a strong Black woman, and she does have those values, and she does share many of the concerns that we do and that we feel like our campus does.
Overall, the discussion will be empowering and informative for both students and community members.
Our event is just a way for all of us to get together to learn about these issues, but also to create an environment that is culturally inclusive, competent, and just very, very empowering for these not only students, but Black mothers and their families.
Going on until 7 p.m. in the Kiva Auditorium. The panel will close with a reception, and all students and community members are welcome. Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Camryn Calderwood.
Thank you for joining us this Wednesday evening.
Stick around at 9 for a new episode of All Systems Go. I'm Chris Abreu.
And I'm Gianna DaPra. Have a great night, Portage County.
All right, I know this isn't any fun to talk about, but we should. Okay, so who's gonna do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice.
And I'll try to get the generator going without any gas.
Oh, let's not forget the cell phones, which probably won't work.
Right.
And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
Well, I think we couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.